Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversation. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? You know, seeking purposeful direction that could and should propel your mission within your divine journey to that next level, but still it hasn't happened. Well, my name is Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the founder of P3, the Journey Series. People come to me because they're wounded. Many are scared, and even there are those who are bruised simply because they feel that they are increasingly, for whatever reason, losing their ability to dream. Now, this P3 program is not for a person who's just looking to start a business, no, but rather for those of you out there who have been on your journey and you've been navigating within your divine purpose, but you still desire to elevate to that level that you have not reached yet. If this is appealing, if this describes you, then I want to have a chat with you. I want to hear your story. So use the link below to get registered for your free seat at P3, the Journey Series. And let's get started, one story at a time. I'll see you inside. Click the link.
My name is Dr. Kent Mercado, and I'm running for Congress. For the past 25 years, I've served the 11th District as a physician, an attorney, and a humanitarian. I'm running for Congress to have a larger impact and to bring your voice to Washington. I visited every county in the district, and I've met with thousands of people, listening and learning from them about their concerns. I found that family values and kitchen table issues are what's most important. So we need to reignite the economy, improve our educational system, ensure the safety of our communities, provide access to affordable physical and mental health care, and of course support our farmers. I'm Dr. Kent Mercado, and I'm running for Congress to be your voice. Together we can make sustainable solutions for our nation.
Don't see what's yours for the taking tonight.
Good morning to you. Hey, welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Dr. Lauren, and it is Hump Day, Wednesday. Ooh, 12:13. Yeah, that's right. Yesterday was 12:12. That portal was wide open. What'd you do with it? I want to know. Put it in the, I can't sit still. My ADHD. I'm so excited. Ooh, 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 ooh. We are, man, it's almost time. Where's my, there. It's almost time. Christmas will be here. Have you gotten your shopping done? I am now 98.62333% finished with my shopping. Yes. So listen, great show in front of us today. Milan, just like the town, is here. Milan Laufik. He's an attorney. I met him at the RPXP experience out in San Diego. Yes, another one. That's right. I met him out there, and he was one of the most quiet people there, but one of the most memorable. And you're going to find out why I saved him for last out of all the people that I've interviewed that I met in San Diego. So we're looking forward to that. I just listen. If any of you want to DM me with your any suggestions or anything that you can do to, I'm so nervous. I'm nervous. I really am. I didn't expect this. This Friday, I'm leaving to go to Boston for, well, I'll be there till Tuesday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 5 days to go into 5 days of intensive, I can't even say it, TM, Transcendental Meditation Training with, yes, Sanjeev Chopra, going there to hang out. His wife, yep, Deepak's brother, his wife teaches everybody, a lot of celebrities, a lot of people who want to know. And I have the opportunity, and my goal in the next year is to raise my temple. So that means everything here, inside, outside, all of it. I want to lift it up. I want to raise it up. And so I'm going to go in a way that I am not. And I just always thought that with my ADHD and whatnot, that there's no way I could ever, meditate. So we're going to find out. So wish me luck, send prayers, whatever you believe in that helps a person get to where they need to go. Can I get an amen? Thank you. So listen, let me tell you a little bit about my good friend Milan. He is an associate attorney at, this sounds like a Spanish name, and I'm probably going to mess it up. I'm going to try it. Oh boy. Astuno Sabal. He's going to tell you when he gets in here. It's a law firm. And he's also a member of the advisory board of the Cure Science Institute. I can't wait to find out about this one. I wrote that one down as one to get to the middle of, the center of, the Cure Science Institute. Sounds so interesting. Now, in his law practice, Milan has represented multinational technology companies before some of the highest courts in Latin America. He has crafted arguments to support freedom of speech rights, women's political rights, all across Latin America. Now, at the Cure Science Institute, Milan has advised on modalities for patient empowerment within the vision of a collaborative stakeholder ecosystem designed to promote personalized medicine. Man, he's smart. You see all those big words he used? Jeez, overachieved much, Milan? Dang. Anyway, Milan, before you get in here, let me tell you, there is a standing rule. Everyone knows it on this show. No words with more than 6 syllables. Yeah, 6. Okay, it's Christmas. 7. I'll give you that. So anyway, he's never been here. He's the first timer. I'm so excited to hear about this Cure Science and all the work he's doing for speech rights and women's rights and just all of it. He's so interesting. Put your hearts on the screen, won't you please? It's our way of saying welcome, welcome, welcome. Because here he comes. Here's our good friend, Milan. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty nice this morning. It's great to be with you.
Thank you. Tell the truth. How nervous are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'm a little bit less nervous than I thought, but somewhat nervous. I mean, from a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it maybe a 6, 10 being the most nervous.
Well, we're going to change that down to a 0 before you get out of here. I guarantee you, if you trust me.
Yeah, maybe some meditation on the show.
If I tried to meditate right now, I'd go to sleep. That's really what I'm afraid of, that I'll be there with everybody and then I'll wake up and they'll all be staring at me like, were you really just sleeping? Have you ever meditated, Milan?
I have. I enjoy meditating. Yes, I love it.
Did you teach yourself or did you go and learn somewhere?
I taught myself initially. I just downloaded an app called Simply Being, and then my previous law firm, they offered actually meditation. They had this guy who was really good at it, so he taught me some techniques, and then I also just learned some meditation techniques just from some people at the Red Pill retreat. Some really talented meditators, kind of hypnotic meditation. Yeah, so I've been kind of learning new techniques, and kind of then when I meditate myself, I kind of extract from different meditation modalities and kind of individualize it to my own needs and mental state. And
How long have you been doing it?
I feel like I've been doing it for about 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so help me out here. So do you get up and do it at a certain time every day, on the weekends, holidays, or does something come over you and you go, uh-oh, I need, like some people go, boy, I need a drink. So do you go, boy, I need to meditate? How do you know when you need to meditate?
I like to do it before I go to sleep because it makes my sleep better.
Really?
So yeah.
So, okay, what's the average amount of time that you meditate?
That's the beautiful thing about it, is it could just be really quick. It could just be average amount of time, I'd say, is 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
And last question, how long does it take before you like are in it? I mean, you start and you kind of have to, I would think, do something to push the world out to get to that place you're going to. How long do you think out of 15 minutes does it take you to get there? And is it shorter now than it was when you first started practicing meditation?
It is. It's like a skill, and you get better and better with it, and it has lots of benefits. So I love that part about it. It kind of depends on if you have a lot going on in your life, or if you have a lot of thoughts racing in your mind. That's going to kind of determine the average amount of time where you get kind of just present to your environment and your body.
Okay.
Once I started doing breath work, which is another really helpful modality,
Yeah.
my average time started getting a lot faster, where I got to a place of peace and just kind of connection with my body.
Wow. So do you find that, as an attorney, because there's a lot of stress in that career. So is this a big go-to for you?
Oh yeah, most definitely. It's the really good antidote, counterbalance to all the stress and neuroticism of the legal profession, for sure.
Okay.
You got all these deadlines, stuff going on. It's just an inherently stressful profession. So it is my go-to for sure.
Yeah. So let's start with a little origin story, if we could. So your name, very interesting. Czech, is it Czechoslovakian?
That's right. It used to be Czechoslovakia. Now it was split into 2 countries in 1992. So now it's the Czech Republic.
Czech Republic.
Mm-hmm.
And did you live there once upon a time?
I was born there, but I was just a baby of 2 years.
Well, most of us are babies when we're born.
Yes, I was a baby when I was born. Correct. Yes. But I was just 2 when my family left the Czech Republic and immigrated to the United States. So I don't remember anything.
So you're okay. First generation.
That's right.
Lot of responsibility. All the hopes are pinned on those kids who, we did this for you, right? And here you are, an attorney. I bet your parents are quite proud.
Yeah, I think they're proud. Yeah, I mean, they set a great example for us, immigrating to the U.S. with nothing and not speaking the language, no money, no contacts, no resources, really bad economy when they got here. And I just watched them kind of work their butt off and never lose hope, stay resilient, and just eventually over time become successful. So it was a great example for me. And Yeah, and you're right. As an immigrant, I don't take anything for granted. I have kind of a broader perspective of kind of the challenges and difficulties that people face in other countries. So it does kind of light a fire under my belly, and just kind of think, man, I really appreciate all my blessings. I wake up each morning, Lauren, in a garden of blessings in my mind.
Wow.
Yeah,
I love that. A garden of blessings.
that's right.
I
That's
got to
right.
write that down. That's actually
Roses, dandelions, bougainvillea, all these different colors, like a rainbow of different colors. And I see it all. I can smell it. I can feel it.
Let me ask you something, because I find this so interesting about the immigrant part and that mindset. Because we have so many people here in the United States who are natives of the United States, who are entitled, who take things for granted. I include myself in some of that taking for granted. I'm far from entitled, trust me. But nonetheless, I've always watched, and seen people and friends whose families were immigrants, and how they started with nothing, literally, in many cases, nothing, goose egg, and built not just, you know, a successful whatever, but they're so happy and their family units are tight in most cases. Let me ask you something. If you had to pinpoint one work ethic that you picked up from your parents, what would it be that you use today, even in your work as an attorney?
I think it's positivity, choosing to be happy, deciding in the morning that I'm gonna have a positive, happy mental state and mindset, and using the positivity as sort of a way to access opportunity,
Mhm.
and seeing openings for action. Because I think when you have a lot of that came from my parents for sure. Because when you have that positive mindset, all of a sudden you see things in your environment that can help you with your challenges or your problems, or come up with solutions for whatever you're working on. And if you don't have that mindset, positive mindset, you're not going to pick up on those cues in your environment. You're going to have blind spots around them. So I
Mm.
just have that positive mindset, and I'm always looking for little cues, little sources of inspiration, little nuggets that I could pick up on that can help me solve my problems or accomplish my goals.
Nice, nice. So, do you have siblings?
Yes, I have one older brother.
One other brother. And what does he do?
So he's a physician, he's a doctor, he's a radiologist here in San
See what I
Diego.
mean? Right. See, man, hats off. Um, so do you have extended family? Last check question, or Czech Republic question. Do you still have extended family over there? And do you go visit from time to time?
Yeah, I have all of my extended family is over there in the Czech Republic and Slovakia, and yeah, lots of cousins, uncles, aunts, all of that. And I visit once in a while. I visited last September of in 2022, a year ago. I visited, and yeah, it was great to kind of reconnect with everyone and just practice my Spanish, because my parents always. I'm sorry, my Czech.
I was
My,
gonna
my
say I didn't know they spoke Spanish there. Well, that makes sense now. Okay, you're Czech. Go
yeah.
ahead.
Right, yeah. Because my parents always spoke Czech to me, which I really appreciate. Because now when I visit my extended family in the Czech Republic, I can communicate with them in Czech and kind of maintain my community there. So that's
Yeah.
definitely a blessing in my life.
Yes. I had a mother and daughter that came with us on our tour of Romania back in May, and they joined us from um say it
So Slovakia.
Slovakia. I always want to say Slovenia. I
Mhm.
make up my own places and words. Yeah, and just a joy they were. Just a joy. Let's go into the work you do. Let's start there. Let's start. Well, first of all, um what made you choose the type of law that you practice? I find that very interesting in Latin, specializing in work in Latin America. Did you just take to Spanish and then one thing led to the next? How'd that all happen?
Right. Well, I've always been interested in foreign languages and kind of foreign cultures. I'm kind of an international spirit, global spirit. So
Mm,
yeah. So it was always kind of piqued my interest to kind of internationalize my law practice and kind of use my languages. And
Languages. How many do you speak?
I speak 3: Spanish, Czech, and English.
In English. Okay. Okay. So you go to undergrad for
International business, and I minored in Spanish.
So you've been taking Spanish since probably junior high school.
That's right. That's when I started. Yep.
I had a feeling.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, why don't we just do the entire interview today in Spanish since I am quite fluent as well? Shall we? Okay. Hola.
Yeah.
Hola.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Hola.
Hola. ¿Qué
Adios.
tal? Adios.
That's about it.
That's bad.
That's the extent of it. See you guys tomorrow. No, I just find it. I just love, especially the Romance languages. I love all of those: Spanish, Italian.
Mhm.
Have you? Why Latin America though? You know what I'm saying? Well, there's a lot of Spanish people here in the United States. I just always try to connect the dots. What led someone to something, because there's a reason for it all. It's all going to come together inside this interview, trust me. But what do you think it is that made you choose working actually with another country and not just working, say, like in a Spanish populated area in the city in which you live?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Right. Well, so one thing. So I at my present law firm, a student of Sable, my practice is primarily domestic within California. Although I have started working with clients in Mexico. I'm representing a Mexican business. So I have internationalized. I have kind of expanded my practice to Mexico in my present position. A lot of the Latin America work I did in my previous job, where I was working for an international law firm for about 4.5 years. And in that role, I was representing multinational technology companies throughout Latin America.
Wow.
Yeah.
So okay, help us understand. So when you're an international practicing attorney, it's not like those attorneys that say, oh, I'm licensed in Illinois or California. How do you get to go to a courtroom, excuse me, in another country? Do you have to like pass some kind of bar or something there as well? How's it work?
Right. Yeah, that's so basically we had offices in Latin America, and then we also had a lot of local counsel throughout Latin America who were barred or passed all the requirements for practicing law in throughout all the countries in Latin America. And I would basically work very closely with them. And so we would just behind the scenes collaborate, analyze the issues, and develop the arguments. And so that's basically how it would work. And then they would be our local attorneys on the ground would be the actual people showing up to court or in the meetings with the regulators. And I would just be kind of behind the scenes coming up with the arguments and the analysis and the recommendations and the advice.
Wow. It just, man, wow. Hats off to you, because, man, it just sounds so difficult. Let's start easing our way into the spirit of the RPXP Red Pill experience, where I met you. And I want to ask you, culturally, religious, most people from your country of origin, what are they? Are they Roman Catholic? What's the religion?
Right. Catholic is the most predominant religion in the Czech Republic. A lot of the population is atheist, and a lot is Roman Catholic.
A lot is atheist?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
So what do they walk around saying? Oh, I don't believe in anything. Really?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess, people have their different perspectives on making sense of stuff that's impossible to explain.
I did not know that. So like a large, they're either one or the other. How interesting. Whereas here, you don't even expect that. Atheism is like a minority when you're talking with your friends. What's your family? Baptist, Catholic, Methodist, Lutheran, agnostic, atheist, or whatever. Wow. But a whole country where, okay.
Yeah,
So the
it's it's. I mean, there's you'll find other religions as well. You know, it's become kind of more integrated and diverse in terms of religions over time as
beliefs,
well. Yeah, but
because
there's
I
mhm.
imagine once upon a time they didn't have much of a choice.
Right, yeah, back in the day, yeah, once upon a time that there was kind of more government intrusion and kind of more government control over
Yeah,
people's lives.
yeah.
That's very true. Yeah,
So your parents, Catholic?
correct.
You
Yes,
were raised in a Catholic home?
that's right.
Did you
Correct.
go to Catholic school?
I did not go to Catholic school, but I took CCD classes for a while, catechism for a
Yeah, yeah,
while.
of course, of course. So let's talk about this. When you started being drawn or you started gravitating over into the what a lot of people refer to as the woo-woo world, spiritualism, just things of a different horse of a different color, if you will, as far as it relates to organized religion. I mean, what was the what did your family say? Do they, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just so interested in that. Like, they're like, what is this you're talking about? Energy, and where are you going this time? And so what's that like? Do they understand? And tell us where you sit. Where are you now today when it comes to belief systems with all that you've experienced?
Yeah, well, I think there's just even though the human brain is is the most developed brain out of all the animals, it's still, if you look at it from a broader perspective, a relatively limited size brain. You could come up with a thought experiment where you have a different species who has a brain that's twice as big, three times as big, and who knows what such a species might be perceiving or understanding. So I've always looked at things from a very humble perspective. That my brain is very limited in size and scope, and I understand extremely little. And if my brain was twice as big or five times as big, I would understand so much more. So I'm very open to accessing different modalities, different spirits, different dimensions, anything that can shed any kind of a light. And for that reason, I was kind of open and I gravitated towards things like meditation, hypnotherapy, breath work, getting in touch with my body, anything that could shed just a little bit of light, because I think we could tap into all sorts of religions and ways of understanding to start piecing the puzzle pieces together. So I think my general open-mindedness and my humility is kind of what allowed me to kind of gravitate towards different things.
And that is talk about a divine gift, a superpower, humility. It really, really is. Let's talk about that for a moment, if we could. Humility. A lot of people confuse humility with weakness. You know what I mean? Or you know what I'm saying? That it gets a bad rep. Uh, well, if you ask me, even though it's one of the greatest assets. I would want to be known for humility, although I don't know what people say. But let's talk about that. Um, you don't hear many people talk about their own sense of humility. Why How is that so available to you, you think? Or how do you maintain that in today's world? Because it's not easy. It is not easy. How do you do it? Is it through these things, like, for instance, the grounding and the meditation and the different things you do? Is it purposely tied in because you care so much and you honor and protect the superpower of humility that you have?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of intentionality behind it because I'm big on self-improvement and I'm big on making an impact. It's important to me to make a social impact and to help the people in my life.
Mm.
Yeah, and in order to do that, I feel like I need to be improving all the time and kind of in developing myself in order to put myself in a position where I'm strong and resilient and able to be productive and efficient and come up with ways to help people. And the only way to improve is to be humble, because only if you're humble are you going to be more self-aware or kind of understand where your areas for improvement are. What are your weaknesses? What are your blind spots? What are things that you can make better? you're not going to be able to kind of understand what your weaknesses are or what you can make better unless you're humble. So if I started out with the premise that, oh, I'm just everything is perfect, I'm just awesome in every way, then I'm not going to understand the things that I need to make myself better. And then if I'm not improving, then I'm not going to be putting myself in a position to make an impact and to help people. So a lot of it is around strategy, around what do I need to do to enable myself to help people and to make a big social impact.
Nicely said. I'm trying to pull something up. I'm in another screen. I want to ask you something because I just love the fact that, and you really are, when it comes to this thing called humility, very, very humble. And I want to ask you, I did here it is. Okay, now I'm going to share the screen. I was looking for a post that I did, and I'm so excited to ask you this question. I posted it on my page a couple days ago, I think, and I want to ask you, I'm just pulling it up. Answer this question for me, if you could, in your opinion. What does the world need right now? And then I'm gonna, and then we'll look at some of the things that people had to say. Let's go into the comments first. Well, first, let's take a look at what they say, and then I'm going to bring it back to you so you might be able to tie in. Of course, I said patience, mindfulness, kindness, love, Jesus. Hi, Lori. Oneness. I thought that was pretty cool. Kanye West, not. This was a long answer. To love and let go of the need or desire to control and change everyone and everything to a single-sided narrative. Beautifully said. We are meant to live in color. Demanding sameness is all things. Removes light, love, color, and spirit. We are all created as unique as the fingerprint. Let us love our differences and celebrate the awesomeness of living. This stuff just so encourages me. Love, compassion, much love, patience, and understanding. Care. Help each other like God teaches love one another. Then some words that I can't say. I don't know what they mean. There's something. Can you read that? What's that?
Looks caridade. Oh, that looks like Portuguese.
I figured, right. Because look at that compassion. A with the, yeah. What's that word? Is that compassion?
Yeah, compassion and friendliness.
And friendliness. That's a new one. You see, I hadn't hearted it yet. Let me heart that. And then awakening. Yes, Jason Vocal, you're correct. Amy Joy says love, more love and peace. Love, faith, peace, acceptance, and tolerance just to start with. But the most important will always be love. Love and a lot of prayer. Amen, Cheryl. Compassion, definitely. Love, sweet love. The son, love, sweet love. There it is again. Compassion. To remember to love each other. Awakening. Oh, hi, John Block. Ringing the bell. Let's see. Unity. That's a big one. I said, hi, Michael. I haven't seen him in a month of Sunday. Wait, where's my thing? Okay. Oh, we were talking back and forth. A rapture. Joe Sharkey from high school. We graduated together. Chris Shivers. I don't know what that is. 5MEO/DMT, some kind of code. And then Matt Paradise. And that really is his name. Love. So what say you, Milan? What do you feel the world needs right now, in your opinion?
Yeah, well, if I was going to say one word, choose one word, I would say forgiveness.
Ooh. Why?
Because I think that's the magic ingredient that would unlock the solution to a lot of the maladies happening in the world. Whether you look, because we need a lot of unity, we need oneness, we need people working together. If people are divided, then it's going to be very difficult to come up with solutions and collaborations. Or if people are struggling with mental health issues or beating themselves up, it's also going to be difficult for that person to engage and come up with solutions to problems in the world. But if you cultivate your forgiveness muscle, and it is a muscle, it's not something that you're just endowed with and born with or wake up with one morning. It is something that you have to create as a possibility and then cultivate it and then activate your reticular activating system in your brain and understand what it takes to really exercise forgiveness. But if you did that, if everyone cultivated that a little bit, imagine what would happen. You would start forgiving yourself for the things you've done, for the things that you're not happy about, for things that you regret, things you blame yourself for. If you forgave yourself, you could rid all that negative energy from your body and be in a much stronger position in an empty and meaningless state of mind to help people. If you were to forgive people in your life that you're upset with, your sister-in-law, your brother-in-law, your in-laws, your coworkers, your boss, your friends, if you were to cultivate that forgiveness muscle and genuinely forgive them, imagine all the poison and resentment that would leave your body, and then put you in a position to collaborate with those people, to work with those people,
and to help understand. That's the thing too. You're right. So many of us don't leave enough. We don't put a bumper between us and others to allow people, to come as they are. And that's across the board. Forgiveness is a big, big piece. I agree with you. I'm surprised that that's what you said. I didn't expect that to be your response. What the world needs is forgiveness. No one said that in the entire list there, but I agree. So let's talk about this. A lot of people, I used to be the apology king, right? You don't know that. Yeah,
No.
man, and I just got rid of I had a thing about it, and I just deleted it while I was sitting here talking to you earlier. Yeah, I started an apology company when I was at 26 in 1988. Out and put me on Oprah, Good Morning America, People Magazine, all that. And I actually went out and people would call me to come and do apologies for them when they couldn't or wouldn't for themselves. And they just felt like, well, I can't do it, but it's valuable enough to get this person to forgive me. And what was so wonderful about that for me, Milan, was the person who would hire me, getting them to the place where they were completely transparent about, because I learned that there was usually three sides. I frozen. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that. What I was saying is I always thought it was very interesting how I had to. It was like pulling teeth. Are you sure that's all of it? You didn't leave anything out. And then watching when I went to the other person to perform the apology, watching their face as they realized what was happening, and how in most cases, a divine sense of relief would pour over them. And they forget I was standing there and run to the phone, because we didn't have cell phones then. They'd run to the phone, pick it up, and dial that person and start talking to them and crying. And I have to show myself out many times. I was not even there after it was like it really worked. And I learned something. Wow, it coming through someone else, because I was worried about that at first. It didn't matter. It was the effort. It was the desire to mend the fence. But what I also found was people that did not know how to accept an apology were people who did not know how to forgive. Because they were the person who would send me there would say, I want to forgive them, but I know that if there's anything there that they need to forgive me for, they won't, because it was as if people described it, Milan, like a lot of us. Here's where I want you to pick up. They say a lot of us, they felt a lot of us have like, and I believe this, like a Rolodex in like this, like I have this thing with cards in it, my coaching notes. They like go through, they say they forgive you, but they write it down and they file it. And then any little thing later, or when it's convenient, oh, hold on here. So, November 12th, 2004, you said, and I quote. So it's like people don't forgive. They more or less file it away instead of whitewashing it. So when you say what the world needs is forgiveness, do you think enough of us truly understand what that means?
I don't think we do. I think a lot of people don't truly understand what that means. It means genuinely and thoroughly forgiving someone. Just kind of like sometimes you have a fake apology, which is kind of conditional or just not really authentic or sincere. it's not a real apology, and it doesn't really land that way. Same thing with forgiveness. You can just kind of say, "Oh, I forgive you," but it's a different thing to actually and genuinely forgive someone, to kind of accept what they did and accept that you viewed it as a transgression, but then genuinely remove it from your system and not file it away. Yeah, there's a big difference, I think.
And not because we carry stuff we don't need to all the
Mhm.
time. I remember I used to wish that there was an emoji for forgiveness, but then I figured it would start a lot of shit. What I ain't saying nothing that needs to be forgiven. What do you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So is it easy for you to forgive?
No, it's not. Yeah, it's not. The thing about the emoji, that's really interesting, because I think that underscores that forgiveness is not a standard part of our lexicon. It's kind of an exotic concept.
Exactly.
It's not something that's really talked about on talk shows or on social media. It's just kind of this kind of almost kind of strange concept. And if it was kind of a little bit more normalized, I think that would do a lot. But no, forgiveness is not easy for me, actually. It's not something that really comes naturally, but it's something that I think is really important and that I prioritize. And I think it's magical. And because I prioritize it, I cultivate that forgiveness muscle.
When you said it doesn't come naturally, why do you say that? Why wouldn't it be one of our natural resources?
Yeah, because lots of times it could become a natural resource, I think, but lots of times there's other emotions that get triggered immediately and overshadow it, like anger or judgment or jealousy, and
Yeah.
they kind of overshadow that forgiveness
Peace. Yeah. That's
piece.
why I love the four agreements.
Mm,
I mean, if I was going to strip the picket fence completely down to the wood that goes around my spiritual house, I would put a coat of forgiveness on first. I really would. I really would, because you're right. It requires so many things that we don't practice. For instance, humility. And the four agreements tell us, if you be impeccable with your word, don't make assumptions, don't take anything personally, and always do your best. So that's what I would paint on my fence first, those four agreements, because there's such a great foundation for all the things that fertilize everything beneath the soil in this
mm.
journey. And see, that's a thing. Let's switch to this topic, beneath the soil. This is a thing that matter of fact, let me write that down. I think I might write a keynote about that. Because I see it like that. Like, like right now, here we are. You chose a shirt, you chose where to sit. I chose this, that. That's all the stuff above the soil, the stuff that we want the world to see. Look at this beautiful plant. Look, isn't it healthy? Da, 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 right. But beneath the soil is where, you pour the stuff to feed the root system. That's how you get something's choking out your plant. You get it out by the root, because the root is beneath the soil. You know what I mean? If the system beneath the soil perishes, everything above the soil follows suit.
Mhm.
So, you see what I'm saying there? So beneath the soil. So let's talk about that for a moment, if we could. And then I want you to take this and move into the cure science thing, because I don't want to miss that point today. I find that very interesting, and I don't even know what it is yet. But let's just one thing. If you had to, okay, here he is. Here's the metaphor moment for you. Beneath the soil of Milan and his journey in this world, what is the fertilizer that you reach for the most to pour into your soil, so that everything above the soil can grow into who it is you are and hope to become? What is it you pour down there? What's your secret sauce?
I would say authenticity is my secret sauce, because I think there's a lot of formulas or generalizations about how people are supposed to be that maybe society or mass media generates. But really, the kind of magic ingredient of human connection, of relationships, it is authenticity. if when you're being authentic with someone, it's you're being vulnerable, you're showing them the true you, but that's
Yeah.
when you really connect with someone. And humans are very social creatures. The quality of our life is the quality of our relationships, basically. And anything you want to accomplish, you're gonna have to be collaborating with other people, and any experiences you're gonna have, they're gonna be a lot more meaningful if you have a good relationship with other people. So, I feel like the magic ingredient of those relationships is authenticity. So I feel
I
like
agree.
that's what's in the soil, underneath the soil for me.
I agree. I agree. Tell us about this Cure Science. What's that all about?
Yeah, it's a very exciting organization, and I think they're making a great impact in the world. So the idea revolves around patient empowerment, because the Cure Science Institute looks at it from a broad perspective, and they see an ecosystem of different stakeholders in the medical system, in the system of delivering medical care to patients. And they see that the patient is often in kind of a disadvantaged, vulnerable position,
Yeah.
because number one, they were often just diagnosed with a very serious condition or disease, so they're under a lot of stress. And number two, they just probably got a huge medical bill, so they're trying to figure out how to pay for everything. And number three, they're not doctors themselves, so they don't understand the medical literature or the nuances of their condition. So they're not really in a position, patients are not, to kind of go out there and be empowered around their medical journey. So the Cure Science Institute just kind of sort of recognized that, and is kind of on a mission to empower patients, basically, to kind of give them more strength in the ecosystem.
Mm.
And the way they do that basically is through increased collaborations and increased communication with everyone involved in a very unified, collaborative approach. So the Cure Science Institute says everyone has a lot to offer, and that the medical world is very complicated, and diseases are very complicated, and everyone's medical history and the nuances of their body and organs is very complicated. Why don't we try to tap into everyone's expertise out there and kind of bring it all together, so that we're all working together instead of against each other. So a lot of it comes back to really to forgiveness and humility and authenticity again.
Yeah.
Because because I feel like those things underlie a lot of possibilities in the world. So if people are looking at it from a mindset of forgiveness and humility, they're going to be kind of more open to working with lots of different people and understanding, okay, I know a lot, I'm really effective in what I'm doing, but there's also things that I don't know and that I could improve and that other people might know.
Yeah.
So it could be beneficial for me to kind of collaborate with them and work with them in a synergistic fashion to kind of enhance the quality of the medical care for patients. Or you might have there could be maybe competing forces or competition, which is very common in many industries.
Sure.
But if you exercise your forgiveness muscle and see it from a broader perspective, a goal that's higher than yourself, and you say, well, I'll forgive and understand, and instead, and then collaborate with other people in order to, again, expand, enhance medical treatment in a synergistic fashion. So in order to improve medical outcomes for patients, in order to mitigate symptoms, increase communication, that's what the Cure Science Institute is all about.
Well, about. Well, I'm very encouraged to hear that this even exists, in hopes that one day the needle gets moved more in the direction of need-driven, as far as our medical system goes, healthcare, which is really sick care, if you ask me, instead of greed-driven. Because right now it's pretty much greed-driven, and so I love that. It sounds like it's moving, the Cure Science organization is moving to put the power back where it belongs.
Yes, I think that's exactly correct. That's right, because yeah, there are a lot of right. There's a lot of different sources of power, and it's a broad constellation of forces that are in existence, and there's a lot of amazing things going on that, especially nowadays. But right there, the patient does not necessarily have a tremendous amount of power, because they have a lot of barriers to access, because right because there's impediments to access for them. The Cure Science Institute is basically trying to give them more power in order to break down those barriers to access. So my vision that I've kind of conceptualized, and I call it the J-Pass.
Okay.
And that is basically it's a request, and it's basically a patient right. And it's you won't find that in the Constitution or something like that, or in any law or statute, but it's kind of just more based on equity. And it basically just says that coming up with a cure for a patient is paramount, no matter the situation, even if it's the most difficult disease in the world, the most lethal disease in the world, even if there's no cure out there. Every patient deserves a chance. And it says that that everything in the world should be done to come up with a cure for that patient, no matter what the situation is.
Yes.
And the J-Pass is the patient's right to access all of the treatment modalities out in the world. And it basically says that no matter where the patient is, whether it's a hospital in Milwaukee or a treatment facility in Stockholm,
right,
it says that the patient should be given some kind of a mechanism, some kind of a structure, some kind of an apparatus that enables them access to additional treatment modalities beyond the standard of care. And that way the patient has an actual structure, a system for accessing additional treatment modalities. And the reason for that is, so there's so many different treatment modalities out there in the world. If that bridge is created through the J-Pass, then the patient can go out there and find out about all these treatment modalities and learn about it, research it, and then go back to their primary physician and say, okay,
hey.
and say, I found all this stuff, and have a conversation about it, have
right.
a communication, a collaboration about it.
Right.
And then the primary care physician, they might say, well, all this stuff is hocus pocus, and it's not going to do anything for you, and we should not incorporate it into your treatment plan. And that's perfectly fine. But there could be another situation where the patient comes up with 5 different things, 5 different,
and really finds something that works.
And the primary care physician might say, you know what, one or two of those things would actually help.
Let's see it. Right.
And they wouldn't have any negative side effects, and it wouldn't conflict with anything, and that actually would help. Why don't we incorporate that into your treatment plan in a synergistic fashion? So it's basically just a different way of formulating the treatment plan that
I get it.
Yeah, that enables the patient access to additional treatment modalities, allows them to come back to their treating physician and have a conversation about it, and discuss if they can expand their treatment plan in a synergistic fashion. And then from that experience, the primary care physician will learn things. They'll learn, you know what, that worked actually. That was actually helpful.
And there's more outside of just what they do.
Right. It's outside the standard of care. Exactly. And then the patient could use those, or the primary care physician can use those nuggets of knowledge with future patients.
Right. Other people. Sounds perfect. Listen, you guys, scrolling along the bottom there of the screen, you'll see how you can go and learn more about curescience.org and all the wonderful work they're doing. And before we get out of here, I wanted to, this is how we met, show everybody a little bit about what brought us together. Here's a little peek as we wrap up today of what the RPXB experience Together We Rise. Here it is. Take a look.
So my name is Chris Gandy, better known as the Tax Wizard. I'm super excited about being a part of John and Monsi's community because it's like family. You meet people and you build relationships over time, and those other relationships that end up feeding you and sourcing your energy as you continue to build your network and also build your organization and enterprise in a community where you can actually collaborate and also expand each other's wealth.
Hello, my name is Dr. Mansi Shah.
And my name is John Block, and we are the co-founders of Abundant Tribe Leader Collective. Abundant Tribe Leader is a carefully curated collective of influential leaders who are all committed to making a big positive difference in the planet. We bring together these experts to mastermind together to solve the biggest problems facing their business and life inside of this unique container. We have calls, we have retreats, we have master classes, many leadership opportunities. So it's also a platform for visibility. We created an ecosystem where a lot of business gets exchanged and everyone rises together.
My name is Christia Ray. For me, being able to share my truth and speak in front of people has been one of the biggest challenges. It was the first time that I chose to invest in myself. In the past, if I was going to invest in anything, I had to ask my husband. I always needed permission. And this time, I just really felt it in my heart. I was like, yes, like I need to do this. And so I made that investment in myself. And truly, honestly, my whole entire life has changed because of it. I think when you show up for yourself and you really choose yourself and you make a huge leap of faith, everything changes. So now I'm actually no longer with my husband. I'm getting the keys to my new house within the container of this group. So I've actually stepped into so much abundance through it as well, because it was an abundance container, it was a business container, a higher consciousness container about like choosing yourself and understanding who you are and how to really put that forward in business. And that's what I've really been learning and experiencing through this group.
We empower impactpreneurs to really step into their sovereignty and feel fulfilled with their life. If you break down the whole program, what is it? Abundance. Abundance has to do with unlimited supply, wealth, creation, and then tribe is the whole community. There is no entrepreneur without their tribe. Every entrepreneur has to have their tribe that supports them, the community that builds them. And leadership. Leadership is everything when it comes to entrepreneurship. Every entrepreneur is automatically a leader. And if they don't understand that, that's where failure comes. So we really help hone into these three things. And that's how the collective is formed.
We use the metaphor of the Matrix. So we call our retreats Red Pill Experience as a nod to the Matrix. We look at different systems of control or oppression across our planet. The leaders who are drawn to us are ones who recognize that these systems of control have stopped humanity for too long from having the healthiest, wealthiest existence, and they're committed to do something about it. It's a collective of rebels, of pioneers, of iconoclasts, of rule breakers and disruptors.
What did I get from the RPXP experience? Let's reverse manifest this one, starting with experience. That's exactly what I got. What I experienced today was something I didn't even know existed. And I'm 61 and I thought, I know I don't know it all, but I thought I knew all that I needed or could dream of having. And I experienced something tonight I didn't even know was possible. It's a renewal of how I will imagine, how I will dream, how I will reach, keep creating my own reality.
I invite you to take a stand by joining the ATL Collective. See how far the rabbit hole goes. See how great you can be. See how abundant you can be. See how strong your leadership can be in this world.
We would love to have you fully committed and also stepping into your fullest potential to impact the world in the way that you're meant to be. So come join us, and we would love to help you in your evolution.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. But it was worth going over time today because you are the very last person to be interviewed from that weekend. And what a great way to wrap it up and to close it out. And I did. I really believe I saved one of the best for last. So I just want you to know, I see you. I honor you and I celebrate you, Milan, and I can't wait to see all the wonderful things that are yet to come from your side of the table, because they're on the way. They're on the way. So thank you so much for everything you poured into us today. You're welcome back here anytime. I think you should do more of this. I think you're good at it. You're a natural.
Oh, this has been such a pleasure, Dr. Lauren. I really appreciate the time. Thank you for inviting me. It's been a great experience. I had such a fun time chatting with you. It was an honor to be on your show.
Oh, thank you so much. And the feelings are mutual. And listen, I hope I see you soon. I really do. I wanted to get more time with you, but I'm going to make sure that happens. So listen, anything you need from us on this side, you let us know, and vice versa. You have the turnstile invitation. You're welcome back anytime.
Appreciate it. Yes, let's stay in touch. I'd love to.
Absolutely. And listen, you guys, tomorrow here on Bathrobe Moments, it is our biggest show of the year. Seriously, it's our biggest show of the year. It is the Meet the Experts monthly show, but it is our holiday special. So come on back tomorrow. We've got some surprises for you, a few additional experts tomorrow just to mix it up a little bit. It's going to be a great time. And I'll meet you, God willing, right over there on the front porch where at 8 a.m. Central together, we create another divine moment in time through illuminated conversation. Get out there, find your highest self, be your best self. And remember, as always, in parting, I love you. There's not a damn thing you can do about it. Get out of here. Have a best day. Bye, everybody. Thank you, Milan. Great job. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.